Welcome back, everybody, to Behind Closed Deals. Thank you, Megan, a dear friend of mine and one of our EXP agents that has agreed to come on this podcast. Megan, thank you so much for doing that.
My God, thank you so much for inviting me. I love spending time with you, so anything is great.
That's awesome. Megan, from the first time that I met you, is just the attraction of the leadership skills that you have, and especially as a female leader, is just such a great thing to see with you and what you've done with your career thus far. From being before EXP, coming to EXP, the leadership skills that you have, and just the way you deal with your clients and your colleagues is just very inspirational.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's not easy, but you work hard every day and it's good.
Absolutely. So Megan, why did you choose real estate?
I was working in corporate. I was working in at Bell actually, and the checking in and checking out every time you leave, and being timed, and being just watched and micromanaged. There was no way I could fit into that box, and I think most agents, we don't fit into that box, and I think for me, I loved seeing inside of houses, and I'd love to be able to manage my own schedule. Little did I know that there's no managing my own schedule whatsoever.
Work-life balance all the way.
You think that you're in control, and there's no way. You got to be on all the time. So, but that was the main reason.
Yeah, it's and then the shocker hit when you started real estate, and you're like, oh my God, now what? So was it for you that you had the clientele already waiting for you? Did you how was the grind in that?
At first, I joined a team, and the person that I was working with really wasn't a good fit. And then I said, I can do this on my own. And that grind was really difficult. I was doing open houses for really big brokers in Westmount. And that's how I was picking up my buyers. And I was, but I was missing a lot of information back then, because the follow-up, now that we know how important it is, I may not have done the best job at following up the first couple of years. So I may have lost some listings, or, but no, I thought I could do it myself, and I did that for a few years, and then I realized quickly that I didn't like working alone. It's very isolating when you're alone as a broker and you have to do everything on your own. That isolation wasn't for me. So I ended up doing new projects, downtown Montreal, condo projects, and that's being part of a team. There's a bit of corporate to it, but I think it's the structure that I needed.
Yeah.
And that structure really enabled me to, take leaps and bounds forward because of it.
Yeah. I think, as social as real estate looks to the outside world, it is so lonely for real estate agents, because you're constantly on the go and not having that, that extra time at hand. And then when you do have that extra time, it's spending it with your family and your loved ones, and trying to divide your time wherever possible. So, you developing, how long do you feel it took you for you to say, I feel like I have a consistent income every single year, and I know how to manage my life with that income?
I think it was a good 5 years.
Yeah.
I think that 5 year wheel of getting things going, I think at that point, that's where it hit. And, to think that it would come beforehand, you would really need to have, a really nice clientele already established. But it's very difficult to get that wheel going. But once you go, if you don't stop, you're successful.
100%. Would you say that building a foundation for your business was taught to you, or you had to self-learn that?
I had to self-learn it. I think at the end of the day, and even now I experience that a lot of new brokers come on the team, and you lay it out on them, and say, this is what you need to do. But unless they do it themselves, they're not able to really grasp the idea of it. And that was what would happen to me. I people are like, you need to do this, that, and the other. And I was like, no, I can do it this way, which
Yeah.
of course brought me back to doing it properly, but I needed to learn that myself.
How many years have you been doing this now?
16.
Wow. 16
I
years.
can't believe it.
Yeah. Now, do you look at it more now? So not, this is my occupation, but this is my business.
This is my business. It's my life. There's a part of me that identifies with it,
Yeah.
when I'm around and I meet people and everything, I'm very proud to say I'm a real estate broker because I feel like I do a good job at it, and just like a doctor would, or a dentist or whatever. But yeah, I live and breathe it, unfortunately.
Over the 16 years, I'm sure, it catches up to you, and there's different scenarios that catch up to you. Not every transaction is an easy transaction. Some of them are so difficult. I remember, selling real estate and how difficult some were and how easy some were. However, you'll never get to see on my face how difficult the transaction is because, as real estate agents, we are the ones that are supposed to make it easy for our clients and not put them under that duress of the problems that come up. Did you ever have times where you're like, I've just had enough? Like,
Yeah,
this is way too much on my
yeah.
plate. Too much
And
in life, too much in work, too much in everything?
I did, and I just want to go back because you said something really important where we need to keep that straight face. And at the beginning, I didn't. I would share with my clients everything, and I think it was an immaturity that came professionally, where I was sharing these things and I was making them go through the ups and downs. Where I think that when I realized that I had the confidence of just managing it and being their person to help them, as soon as I took the emotions out, that's when I feel like I became a real estate broker.
Yeah,
I wasn't just like being guided by what they wanted. I was able to make decisions properly. So yeah, I think that's really important to understand for brokers, especially if they're starting. You need to be able to have that distance between you and that client and being able to guide them. Go back to your other question. I'm sorry, I forgot the other question.
no, that's okay. I was just asking, like, did you get to a time where you just felt
Yes.
like between personal life? I mean, I had those clashes all the time where it's, my personal life is crashing with my professional life. And it just, I needed to, like, I just wanted to throw in the towel and just say, this is way too hard to be able to have a family and to be a professional and to manage all of these people around me. Like, it just, there are days where you just want to give up. Have you had those days?
Absolutely. I think that when my daughter would look at me and she's like, you're always on your phone. And it's not like I'm on social media. You know what I mean? I'm texting, I'm getting deals done. And I'm like, it's okay. I'm getting deals done. I'm getting deals done. At 3, 4, 5 years old, there's not really an understanding, I think. But what I was able to understand, the most important thing in real estate, one is follow-ups, and the second one is time management.
Yes.
And once I was able to, literally, my schedule, is timed by the minute. Once I was able to do that, well, between 5 and 7, my phone is down, and there's nothing that will take me away from it, because you need to have your priorities set straight. But the time management, I think that's really important. Once I applied it, then I didn't have those feelings anymore.
It's what a lot of real estate agents do struggle with, is the mental health aspect of it, and not
Yeah.
many talk about it.
Yeah.
It really takes a toll on you because this is, again, commission based. So, the stress comes from being able to earn an income, but not only being able to earn that income, but having it spread until you get paid next, and how much mental stress that puts on you, depending on the spending of your family. And then you have, all of the personalities that you deal with as from your clients, and all the problems that arise when it comes to the financing and the inspections and so forth. So you are like bringing everyone together. And how do you keep it together? That's the only thing, is that, we make it look easy, and people look at us and go, this has got to be a very easy career. However, what they don't understand is the problems never ever go away. From the start of your career to the end of your career, the only thing that gets better is the way you handle the problems and the way that you're able to deal with the stress. But this is why leaders like yourself, agents, depend on, because you are able to steer them in the direction, and you are able to problem solve for yourself. So prior to coming to EXP, you were you had the real estate career. You came to EXP, was it just 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Uh,
Two,
a
2 years.
year and a half. Yeah, a year and a half. Yeah.
So how has that changed for you in your business? What has that added to your business mindset? Talk to us a little bit about
I
that.
think at first you look at the EXP model and you think it's too good to be true, and it doesn't make sense how all the other banners are still rolling the same way that they are. So I was a bit, having been in real estate for so long and being so brainwashed into thinking that you need to have a big banner to represent you and everything. I think when I came into EXP, when I realized that EXP is there to push their agents forward as opposed to pushing the banner forward, for me that opened up all opportunities. There's nothing I can't do with EXP anymore. I can go in any area I want to work with. I have the support, and then I find that the brokers that are part of EXP were very like-minded. We support each other. I've had clients who brokers who refer clients to me because they're not in the same area. You go to the Christmas party, everybody's talking together. You're not just sitting at your table and hoping that, that big agent that does really well might notice you. No, you can just go straight up, hey, how's it going? You've spoke, So there's a real sense of community.
Yeah.
And financially, I find that it's made a big difference because obviously I'm able to put more emphasis on my sales, and not worrying too much about, the logistics of it behind me. And then the support at the office as well is really good. And just, speaking to you and being able to text, the VP of Canada, or, the position that you have. I mean, I could never do that at, Sutton or Remax before. So I feel like there's a really nice collaboration, support. And I feel like, really my business has skyrocketed since.
That's amazing. Over the 16 years that you've been in real estate, if you were to go back to the first 3-4 years of being in real estate, now that you know so much about leadership and business, what would you change to fast track you so that it doesn't take you so long to get there?
I think there's a trust and understanding that, I know, like if something goes wrong or whatever, I don't have to stress out about it. So it's just to kind of take away that stress, but also to think outside of the box. And how can I present myself and make myself different than any other real estate broker?
Right.
And being able to shine and take my positives and being able to apply them and not be worried about anything else that happens. I think, I think financially it really helps on that level because you're able to just do deals properly,
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely does make a difference. You look at just a career in general and how we evolve over the years. And, I always look back and say, had I done this in my year 2, year 3, year 4, where would I be? What would have changed? But I think the learning curve is so important. So, if you were to advise agents that are coming into the business in their first 2-3 years, what would be their primary source of lead gen or prospecting? How would they do it in order to generate business? Because like you said, you never came into real estate having clientele waiting for you. You had to develop and you had to, lead gen yourself. So what would your advice be?
I think, having had coaches and having gone through so many things, I think it would be to generate your leads is to, I guess, either, whether it's on the phone or in person, but you're there to empower your client. You're there to give tools to your client so that your client can make the right decisions. You have to listen to what they're saying and really, focus in on how you can give them the right tool to make that decision. You're not there to just in and out, close a deal or just get the listing. You're there from, you're, like we said before, you're wearing all the hats. You're the psychologist, you're the, you're the everything, you're the financial person, you're everything. So I think that the goal is to go, when you're meeting with people, it's to empower them. It's to give as much as you can. And at the end of the day, they're going to want to give back. They're going to recognize that you have the tools, you have the experience. And even if you don't have the experience, you can get away with saying, I have what you need to be able to get to the next step. And I think that, again, even if it's sharing with brokers or sharing with clients, the more you give, you're empowering people around you, and those people are going to, most likely do it back for you.
100%. Would you say that lead gen or prospecting changes?
No, it's basic. It's basic. It's basic. No matter what, you can have AI, you can have all the social media accounts in the world, you can have all the landing pages in the world. It's nothing until you're face to face with a client or a person that's a potential client. So if I go to the grocery store in the area where I'm working, I've got my jacket on with the B and I smile and I say hi to people, you know.
Yeah.
If I'm doing door to door, I'm there to give them statistics of what's sold recently in the area so that there's something to talk about. I'm not just knocking on your door and I want to take your listing, your house for sale. I don't want to take anything from you. I want to be able to give you those tools. So I think basics, door to door, phone. It's very difficult now. We're being there's a lot more regulation for that.
Mhm.
But think outside of the box and make yourself stand out from the other brokers.
Yeah, it's that mentality that, there are some agents that would say, well, you've been in it for 16 years, so it must come easy to you now.
No,
It does
no.
not. And
No.
that's what I try to eliminate, from their mindset, is that it does never gets easier. You just get better at what you're doing. And you continuously have to prospect and revisit. Sometimes, we get too involved in the social media and the new platforms and how to do everything new, when really all we need to do is go back to the basics and be able to do what we did when we first started, which was a lot easier and a lot cheaper.
Very much cheaper. First of all, we've been since I guess since Christmas. Normally, the spring market picks up, and it's been very slow. We've been prospecting since January. It's just been prospecting, and getting people. And it's a garden, right? So you're planting your seeds, and now I've got some things that are coming back, and that's great. But if I count on real estate, Nadia, seriously, if we look at people's profiles,
Yeah.
you're looking at people's profiles and you're like, wow, that looks easy. That looks great. They're rolling in money and everything. And if you look at my profile, I can't do it because I can't just come out and say, hey guys, I sold this house and everything was great. And it's BS. I have a hard time putting on that front saying it's perfect and it's great.
Yeah.
So if I'll get the courage to get on and be myself and say, hey guys, this house was really hard to sell. The sellers were a pain in the butt, but there's you can't look at the glossy effect. It's so easy to get wrapped up and get jealous and get envious or think I'm not doing as well. No, just keep your head down and keep pushing. You're going to get the results.
I agree with you, and our dropout rate from real estate is just so high. We have 8 that don't make it past the 2-year mark. And
Wow.
that's just because, again, like, we portray real estate as being glamorous. We portray it as so easy to do. And hey, that's great if we all love our careers as much as we do. Time management is very, very difficult when it comes to real estate, because really you don't own your time, and you're never going to have work-life balance. It's
No.
very difficult to do. Like, you cannot give up on that client, especially when you're building that business and wanting to take it to that next level. So there are many years of sacrifices that come along, and unfortunately there are some agents that have a very hard time pulling out of that. Men and women in real
Yeah.
estate do struggle with that mental health issue, where there's a lot on their plate, but it's the financial stress because there's no consistent income that's coming in. So I also find that a lot of them may not have the financial management skills that they need in real estate, even though they are handling the biggest financial asset of a client. So what was it? Who helped you? How did you get your finances to a point where, you're able to have steady consistency in your finances?
Over the years, I've consulted with financial planners. That's really helped. But I think that it for me was more of a frame of mind. You're only as good as your last check, right?
Yes.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You never know what's going to happen. I know I've got, let's say, 100 notaries ahead of me, and I guess would be closings for the rest of Canada.
Yes.
But I've got 100 of them. But until it's signed, it's not for sure. So I think that it's the frame of mind of understanding that for this wheel to keep going, I have to keep prospecting. I have to keep making those sales. And then obviously having a very tight budget and being able to stick to that budget, because you'll get a check 10 grand, 20 grand. You're like, oh, let's book a vacation,
Yes.
and let's go have some fun. But I've got a plan for the next 4 months, So I think it's just having the mindset and understanding that you're here for the long run. You're not here just for the next check. And planning your expenses and knowing where your money is going is also really important. But I think for me it was financial planners, but it was the mindset really that was a big help.
What advice would you give agents to handle the stress that comes their way?
take a step back. Take a step back. That email comes in and it's blasting you from a client that's unhappy because they didn't get what they wanted, or that broker who's just really difficult to work with. You receive it, you put it down. I never answer anything immediately.
Yeah.
I always take a step back, because the minute you take a step back, then it's not I should have said this, I could have said this. It's I said the right thing.
Yeah.
And you manage your ego, you manage your, whatever emotion you have for it. But for me, it's for my whole team, every time something comes up, guys, put your phone down, take a step back, talk about it, and be logical about it.
For agents that are wanting to join teams, what should they look for? What would be the reason to join a team? How can a team be beneficial to them? Because some agents might say, I don't want to give up part of my commission to a team leader. But what are the benefits of being part of a team?
Being part of a team, I think a lot of brokers, they come in and they think being part of the team, they're going to be handed leads, they're going to be handed work to do, they're going to be, and it's going to be easy breezy. Being part of a team, when you're part of a team, you actually have that much more of a responsibility, because you have to show up. You have to be there for your team members, and you have to do just as much work as the team leader. It's not because the team leader is, leading the team that you're just going to run off of that steam that they're leaving behind.
Yeah.
So I think the benefits of joining a team is exactly what I needed personally, was that support, the like-minded people, and being able to talk about a transaction that you're having, or having to be able to share, learning from other people's experiences, and being motivated by people that are also like-minded and wanting to move forward. So doing the prospecting, getting on the phone, that motivation alone for me, like I said, was very isolating, and I wasn't able to find it.
Yeah.
And you know what, splitting the commission, well, there's been people there that, on the team who've been there before you, who've established a brand, they've established a reputation. And that in this business is the most important.
Yes.
It's not the banner, it's the reputation of the broker, the branding that you have. So you can benefit from that. And then obviously from the wisdom of people that are a little bit older, or, have more experience.
And ironically, I find that you're able to actually make more, even though you're giving up more, but you're able to make more because of everything that you just said. Like it's a lonely industry, and being in a successful team really gives you that insight on what you need to do, what you have to, and it keeps you motivated every single day, because like you said, you have to show up. You don't have a choice. And when you make a commitment to show up, you show up. And I feel that it actually increases the production level of an agent being on a team.
For sure. When I was working, I was selling the Tour des Canadiens, the condo building downtown. We were on a team, and we were offering to the collaborating brokers 4% on every deal. Okay. And we were not making that at all. We were making, a point something percentage. And brokers were like, you're crazy, you should, but I was like, guys, it's volume. I'm surrounded with people. We're doing, an amazing project. I'm learning from creative people, everybody who's involved, the architects, the people that are building. We're learning so much. So I'm getting all of that learning environment. And on top of it, I get to sell the project. Well, I'm going to sell 600 of those condos, So at the end of the day, for the guys who are coming in, great. I mean, there's some that made a killing, obviously, who had, a big pool of clients. But if I was on the outside just bringing 1, 2, 3 clients, I would not have made the money that I made, and I wouldn't have gained everything that I did, the knowledge and the tools to be able to make decisions now.
Yeah, it's one of the things that new agents coming into the business really don't understand. And I get that all the time is, I don't want to join a team because I don't want to give up 50, 30, 40% of my commission to that team leader. But I always say to them, like, okay, so what's 100% of zero? Like, you're not making anything. You don't have any connections. You need the help. And this is all about investing in your own business. I mean, I don't look at it as I'm giving up commission. I look at it, I am investing in my business, and the information that and education that you get from the team leaders is invaluable. No one can teach you that out there. So, you did that condo project, but you may have made less. However, the knowledge that you took out of it was tremendous, and that you're able to use it in your business moving forward.
I could turn around tomorrow and meet with a developer and put a whole project up You know what I mean? So that's priceless. And even here with Jean-Sébastien Boiteau also being a mentor who's brought me to literally another level in my career. You know, had I have not taken the time to understand, you know, during COVID, I had to start over. So I was doing the projects and condos weren't selling anymore. So I found Jean-Sébastien Boiteau. And, you know, since then, for me, my career again has taken leaps and bounds because I'm able to learn from somebody who's been doing this for so long. And, you know, and there are things that you can't learn on your own. It's from experience. And
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm able to apply it every day. So no, very grateful.
It leads me up to how important is a mentor for an agent in the industry?
Honestly, I never understood the importance of it up until the last 4 or 5 years of my career.
Yeah.
You again, you have somebody to answer to, and you have somebody to lean on, and you have somebody who's going to tell you, you did a terrible job on this transaction. Let's go through it together.
Yes.
Having a coach, you know, paying somebody to help you, again, it's making you be accountable to yourself and your business. Because like you said, it's my business. So now with that mentor, you know, I feel like I can do anything. I can do a industrial transaction, you know, which I don't have much experience in, but, you know, because I know that I've got somebody backing me, I feel like I could do anything.
100%. I truly feel that there's a lot of value with having someone mentor you along the line. Coaching and mentorship, a little bit different. Coaching, I mean, they're always going to help you, hold you accountable for the things that you need to do for your business. The mentorship is really guiding you along the way, but it's also someone that is going to give you feedback, whether it's positive or negative. You're going to hear it, and you're going to hear it well. And that is what's going to help you improve in what you do every single day, right? We don't want to hear just the positives. I know I did great because that's my thought process, but I need you to tell me what I did wrong so that I can improve on that. And I think, you know, as the years go by, you better your skill set, you manage your stress better, you manage the tasks at hand better, and you're able to provide better leadership to the group that you currently have if you yourself have someone to lean on.
And I think, you know, it's funny, but this is all parallel to what EXP stands for at the end of the day. And that was something that I spoke about it before, that collaboration, that mentorship. I can call somebody, you know, in EXP and be like, have you ever done this? I need some help, you know, and just like I've met everybody, whether, you know, they work with me or not, I've ever met with them before. Guys, you need anything, just call me, I'm there, you know, and having that support, that outreach, I mean, it's priceless.
I think it's so important. Where do you see your business going, Meghan?
Ooh, that's a big question. I say that's a big question because I did my objectives at the beginning of the year, and it was 3, 5, and 10 years. And once I got to 10 years, I was like, oh my God, could I actually put something down on paper for that? I think at the end of the day, the goal would be to not necessarily grow the team too big. I think right now we have a really nice team, but so that I want things to just, you know, be organic, and I want to be able to give back to the broker community. So to be able to be involved, you know, in any way possible. But long term, you know, it's always real estate, and it's always to be with people and just to give back, I think, at the end of the day.
It's amazing when you absolutely love what you do. I cannot put down a number where I say I'm going to step back. I can't.
No.
You're so passionate about what you've built and what you're building and how you're helping change people's lives that you're just like, I can't step away from this. That's gratitude on its own. It's just,
I have goosebumps. You say that and I have goosebumps.
It's so hard to even think about walking away from something you're so passionate about. And I think that's what makes you the great leader that you are, is because you're so passionate about it. Meghan, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. I really appreciate you and have tremendous respect for you. You're
the same goes for you, Nadia. My respect for you is unbelievable, and I really appreciate the time you take and everything that you do for all of us. I think your investment, it makes a difference on everybody's life. So thank you.
I appreciate you so much. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.